Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to tear into the swing arm. We're going to get the swing arm out, probably get the pegs out, the center stand out, shocks off. We're really going to go next level on this frame, getting it all isolated. Lots of cleanup to do on the frame. I really hope I'm able to salvage this. We will see. But first, let's get these shocks off. All right, in order to get the shocks off, you're going to need a 14 millimeter wrench. Get this top one. There we go. There are no nuts on the back side of these. These actually go straight into the frame, so I don't have to worry about having another wrench on the other side. This one's cooperating so far. We're looking good. So we got 14 there. And then down on the bottom side, we're going to have another one. Boy, this one's real crusty. It's like squeaking at me as I take this one off. There you go. You got a rounded nut and a big thick washer. So we'll keep that. And let's move down to the bottom nut. Again, there's nothing holding this up here. This one's just free to take off. Spin this 14 millimeter bolt straight out. It's crazy. The underside of this bolt is like shiny new. Look at this. It looks almost brand new right there. But anyway, there you go. Shock is free. And then I'll show you. We'll just pull this right off. Shocks are easy. Once it's loose, okay, I'm going to pull it straight out. All right, just pull it straight out. There's a little rubber O-ring inside of here, but there you go. There's one shock off. I think what I'll end up doing here is just putting these back in place for now. I don't want to lose them. So I'll put that back in. I'll take this, and I guess this is really pointless because the threads are actually on this side of the shock. So I guess what I'll do is I'll keep this in the shock, and I'll keep this one here. Next thing, swing the bike around. It's getting real easy to manipulate at this point. And let's hope we have as good of luck on this one as we did the first one. Nope. This one's really burred on the edge. Show you that here if I can get it to crack. Oh, we're going to have to get a breaker bar. Look at this. Look at this, folks. This one's going to take a little work. Going to have to get the breaker bar out. It is rounded off. Something fierce. Actually, that's just on the nut. Huh. That's really interesting what's going on there. All right, I got it. Either way, I got to get a breaker bar because I got to get this thing to move. All right, let's put the breaker bar on it, see if we can get her to move. There it went. Just needed a little bit of help. This is a stiff one. Ooh, listen to that. That is squealing. Ooh. Cover your ears. Oh boy. This is the most stubborn bolt so far. Yeah, all right, there we go. Yeah, we're all good. Ooh, this thing is hot. This thing is hot. This thing's ruined, actually. This bolt is ruined. Looks like somebody may have over-tightened it and broke through the top of it. Water got into it, and it rusted out. So let's actually just move on down to the bottom one. See if this one goes any easier. This other side was easy. Yep, that one's going to come right out. There we go. 14 millimeter for the win. Take that out. There it is. Give you back up to the top. And we're just going to pull it straight back. Pull it straight out. There's shock number 2. I'm going to take my bolt. I'm going to put it back in it. Of course, I'm probably not going to use these shocks. But at least I know where the bolt is. And we'll take this. This one didn't have a washer on it. I think that's why this one didn't have a washer on it. That's why they actually drove through they went too deep. So I have to find a replacement for that. That ain't no big deal. But yeah, that thing is warm. Let's put this on real good so we don't lose it. It's also a different size. It's a completely different one than on the other side. So there we go. That's how you remove shocks from a Honda CL350. Pretty straightforward. Next thing we got to do is we got to get the swing arm out of here. And this is actually just another pretty straight, simple process. Just getting this giant bolt out of here. It'll all kind of pull right apart. I got to swing the bike around in order to show you that. So there it is right there. Right here is what we're going to work on next. Actually, really surprisingly, this is just on here finger tight. It's kind of odd. But anyway, pull that off. There's going to be a washer, big fancy slotted nut with a washer. All right, it's on that side. And let's see, what else did I have to deal with here? I think we might as well just pull these side covers off as well, because we'll be able to pull this all off in one unit. So let's get some wrenches. All right, let's get to work. You'll need a 12 millimeter and a 10 millimeter in order to get these pieces off. So we've got two 10s on this side that will pop off. Not anticipating these to be too troublesome at all. Should pop right off. Come on. Oh, of course. There we go. Nothing's ever easy on these things, but we're going to pull this side plate off. Hopefully we can get that off. Take this one out. 10 millimeter, 2 on the back side. All right, 1 and 2. And then we're going to grab our 12 millimeter and we'll pull this one off. Hopefully we're as lucky. Yeah, that one's coming out no problem. And that's going to free up our rear peg. And basically this whole piece will come right off. All right, so that just pulls straight off. There's our rear peg. That exposes some of this guy. Look at all this junk. Just caked up, man. Woo! All right, let's spin the bike around. All right, and let's do the same thing on this side. 12 millimeter here. We'll be sure to put these nuts back in, or these bolts back in to the frame, or into these pieces at least, so we don't lose them. There's one. Then we'll switch over to our 10. These ones are a little crusty on this side. We should be able to get it. Again, this bike was found laying on its side behind a barn. So one side got a lot more weather damage than the other. Ooh, that one's a little tough. Gotta swing around here a little bit, get some leverage on it. There we go. Pull that off. Let's see. Pull that. There's our two 10s. 1, 2, and then this whole cover will pop off once we take this side's nut off. All right. So crescent wrench is usually the go-to tool on this one. This ain't a nut, actually. This is the whole bar. So I've got that loosened up. Okay, see how it kind of spun? Should be able to just pull this all straight out from here. All right. So we're going to pull straight out. There it is. All right, there is the main bolts here. All right, so we're going to keep it in this order. There's a little cover here, a little black plastic cover. I think it might be metal. And there's a spacer in here with grooves in it. That's to carry some of the grease. There's another cover on the other side, which we will put on here. And then I will take my washer and my big fancy nut on top of that. So there we go. That is the main swing arm right there. And now what we should be able to do is we want to be a little bit careful here because there are a couple little boots that we don't want to mess up. I don't want to buy new ones, but it's holding that in. So you just want to be careful. Pull that out, tilt it over, and pull that bad boy out. Now note, there is a spacer inside this other side. So back to our big long bolt. Okay, I'm going to put that spacer on there so we know we're good with that. And there you have it. There's that. And there is our swing arm out of the way. Next piece, basically, let's just tip the bike over. And now we got our center stand. Center stand's got a spring that holds it. Really straightforward. Just, let's see if I can get something underneath here. Just pull this off. Actually, let me change camera angle here. There's a little better angle for you. Now what we want to do, we want to find the least point of tension on the spring, which I believe is right here. Get this underneath, pop that off. All right, there you go. There's your center stand spring. Notice that the longer end goes to the frame side. This shorter end goes to the actual leg side. So that's important to note. And then to get this off, it's just 10 millimeter if I remember right. Yep, I'll need a 10 millimeter wrench and a 10 millimeter ratchet to complete this side. There's two of these on each side. So we're just going to take these two bolts out. So far, so good. Nothing fighting us here. On this side, we don't have a locking washer, just a regular washer and a long bolt. Take that out. Again, we don't want to lose our parts, so put it back together. And then there's one more on the other side. Let's just flip the bike over. Do this other one. The other one's right here. So we'll just take this 10 millimeter wrench, 10 millimeter socket. Pull that out. Get that going. And this frame is pretty much stripped down. We've got a few little details to look at to pull off. But again, no washer on that side. It's a single nut. So we'll put our washer back on and put our nut back on there as well. And then I'll give you a little close-up look here as far as what's the next step here. And our next step is just dealing with the cotter pin. So we got to take this out, bend that out, pull that pin out, and we'll be good to go. All right, we'll tackle this. You just got to bend these out. Bend the one end. Again, try to get these as humanly straight as possible. I'll just try to give it a little push from this side. All right, there we go. I think we're pretty good. Come over to the other side. We'll pull that pin out. Got it. There it is. Now we'll be able to knock that pin straight out. All right, now just give her a swift hit with the hammer. That's going to move it just enough. Swing this bad boy around. Things get pretty easy to use here at a certain point. Now this thing is rusted like nobody's business, but we'll get it. I'm just going to pry it up, get it going, and let's see. Should be able to just wiggle it free from here on out. Here we go. Got to be a little patient. Come on. Boy, it's dry. It's a dry one. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Just get that to come the rest of the way. Sometimes you got to bend this just a tad. Get some pressure off of it. There we go. Little trick there. Just pry on that just a little bit, not too much. That pin will come right out. Again, I don't want to lose this or forget to re-put in this pin. So I'm going to just put this pin right back in to this. There you have it. There's our frame. Last little tidbit here. Remember these covers. Get these covers off of here. Just be real gentle when you pull these off. These can be really brittle, really dry. I've got one right there. It actually just slips into some grooves on that. Swing it around to the other side. Grab the other boot right here. Again, just be real careful pulling these off. These actually look like they're in pretty good shape. I'll be able to clean these off. We're great. All right, we got swing arm, center stand, foot pegs, all off of the bike. Let's take a look at where we're at and what damage we did. All right, guys, we're getting down there. Shocks off, center stand off, swing arm off, and there's a pretty much stripped down frame. Only thing I noticed that was still hanging out are these little rubber pieces. These are actually hold on the side covers of the motorcycle. I'll have to pop those out. Those actually just pull right out, but they're so brittle. I'd hate to have to buy new ones, actually. So I'll probably lube these up just a little bit to see if we can get them out, but not much else to come off of this bike. We have stripped it down. We'll go ahead and probably knock out the races in the front of it, and I'll show you how to do that. But other than that, we really tore this thing down. I'm glad to knock that out today. Um, this bike is literally in a million pieces. This is a lot of fun. So with that, we've got it down to the frame. We've got the engine sitting here. Praying to God we didn't break these spark plugs too bad. I feel fairly good about what we did, but a lot of work happening there. Give you a little sneak peek at the 1970 CB350. I built this last winter. It's so pretty, isn't it? Love it. But with that, let's call it a day. It's hot. And if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe. Love that. Also follow along Instagram and Twitter. I want to put some tools away. And, go ahead. Follow along at BB Matson. That's what you can do. This place is a mess. I got to clean this stuff up. All good, though. Made some progress on the CL350. See you guys in the next video. I have no idea what we're going to be doing. I mean, we are getting to the stage where we can start cleaning some things up. We need to tear down those wheels yet. I mean, the list is a mile long. But anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching.